Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Kim Wilson, President and Founder of Social News Desk, and we are thrilled to have you guys here today. Record-breaking attendance for today's webinar. CrowdTangle is going away. Now what? So I am thrilled to have joining me today Aaron King, our CTO, and Sarah Lloyd from our world famous client success team. So they're going to help me walk you through a whole bunch of really cool new capabilities within Social News Desk. Now, you have probably heard or maybe even experienced that support for CrowdTangle has been decreasing and will likely continue to do so. So this platform is one that we know many of you use in your daily workflow, and we have heard from tons of newsrooms and journalists asking, can Social News Desk help? So the answer is yes, we can, but there's just a little bit of an asterisk on that because obviously Facebook and Meta, they make available to third parties data and capabilities based on what they want to make available. And so there's only certain things that we can do and certain capabilities that we have access to. Some of the things that CrowdTangle could do, we can't, and pretty soon CrowdTangle won't be able to do them either. So with that in mind, what we tried to do is work to figure out what is it about CrowdTangle and what is it about this workflow that really does help our newsrooms and journalists. We've had tons of conversations with many of you. And we tried to also then look at what is it that's possible? What can Social News Desk do in this realm? And then we really just tried to find the intersection between the two. So that is what we're going to show you today. In addition to that search and listen engine, as we are calling it, we're also going to walk you through a whole bunch of other really important capabilities, things like vertical video creation, new channels for distribution of content within social media, and ways to acquire that very important first-party data using some of the content that you already have. Now, it goes without saying that, CrowdTangle is a piece of a very quickly moving puzzle within social media. The platform's priorities are shifting. Their relationship with the news industry is a lot different than it used to be, and those changes will continue. But your newsroom still has a huge opportunity to leverage social media for your own benefit, to distribute your content. The audience on social is massive, bigger than ever, if you believe Elon Musk. And so we're going to help you with strategies within the Social News Desk tool set so that you can continue to find and connect with your audience where that audience is. So we've got a lot of really cool things to talk about today. I'm going to start with this search and listen engine, which you may have already played with a little bit within SND Dashboard because it's actually been live now for a minute. So things that you're going to be able to do with this are keep an eye on competitors. We've got an entire mechanism for you to understand, who's within your DMA and what your competitors are doing. You'll also be able to keep an eye on first responders lists. Those are straight out of, kind of this concept of watching first responders. And then also within our reporting, within SND Dashboard, we have some new features that help you keep an eye on some data that you may have previously leaned on CrowdTangle to look at. So with that in mind, I am going to switch the controls over to Aaron King, who again is our CTO at Social News Desk, and he and the development team here have been working for months on this plan to try to bring you guys some capabilities that will fill the gap a bit as things are changing with CrowdTangle. So he's going to walk you through that live, and then also Sarah Lloyd is going to come in with some features as well. So I'll let the two of them walk you guys through some of this pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, hey guys, glad you're here. I'll be brief. I know your time's important. I want to quickly highlight a change we just recently made this morning, which makes tabs even easier to use and will be is available to everyone. We recently moved our tabs to the bottom of the screen, and we've gotten some feedback from a couple people that they'd like to keep them on top, and so we made that very easy for them to do. And so that's part of a number of changes that we recently made as part of an update last week. To Kim's point, though, I want to show you how our search and listen works. As you can see, I've got 3 tabs down at the bottom: Michigan, Illinois, and trending. I set up Michigan. Right now, we're looking at 3 different DMAs in Michigan, but we're missing my hometown, which is Grand Rapids, or my current town, Grand Rapids. And so to add an entire DMA to your listing on your dashboard, you simply go to the search icon, which we moved over to the left, and find the Facebook button. And here you can see a number of options. And so I'll go through each one of these, but first let's start with that publishers by DMA. And what's missing is Grand Rapids. There's a couple other technically that are missing too, but it's very easy to add a DMA. These are the stations that we're tracking in that DMA, and simply click launch, and boom, you've got your Grand Rapids Kalamazoo DMA, and right now it's broken down by engagement over 14 days. I can easily change that to say, let's just look at stuff that's happening right now. And there was a big school shooting last year, and they're in the middle of some sentencing and things like that that have happened recently in that case. But I can also look at things as they come in. And so I just simply switch the sort by to latest, and boom, I've got results as they come in. And so that's kind of looking at how DMAs work. You can see we've got every DMA, every Nielsen DMA is available. And these are all the ones in Michigan. So I've kind of set that up to track in Michigan. Also, under Facebook, we've got first responders, and this includes police, fire, any kind of emergency services, government agencies. They're part of first responders, and this is an ever-growing list, and we're definitely encouraged to get your feedback on that and add things as necessary. But I simply click that button, and then I'll type in Michigan. I'll grab Michigan. You can see the list is already pretty big, and this is Michigan, which is a pretty big state, but you can imagine California, Illinois, similar type of list. Click launch, and then now I have everything happening in Michigan in terms of first responders, and again, engagement over 14 days, but I can easily change that to look a little longer or a little less if I want to look at just stuff that's happening right now, and I can see things as they come in as well. So that's kind of how the first responders list work. We've got them for all states, and we're working on Canada, we're working on different regions. We'll keep on growing that list. Okay, and then let me hop over, first let me add, we thankfully just got past the elections, midterms, but when we're in the thick of it, one of the things you can do is just simply add public pages that you want to search. And this is a capability that we've had for a long time, but now we've brought everything into one sort of interface here. So I'll go ahead and add Governor Whitmore. I just search Whitmore. Let's do Governor. And what did I search earlier? There we go. This is her personal page. And we'll do Tudor Dixon was her, the person who ran against her. There we go. And you can easily set up a multi-page stream. You can add your own pages in here as well. I could add, let's just say I wanted to also see, click on Detroit at the same time. I can simply do that and compile a list of my own custom pages. So of course we provide, a DMA list. We provide first responders by state, but you can still build your own custom lists if that's what you like to do, and they all work the same way. Let me hop over to Illinois real quick. As you can see, I set up Illinois DMAs in the same way, and I can do the same thing. It's just, let's say in this case, I've got my DMAs, and I want to add first responders, which I actually already added right here. Let's just pretend I didn't. I can easily come into first responders, tap the button, same thing. And again, all the states are there. You can see Illinois' list is very large also. So we're tracking, again, emergency services, fire, police, and government agencies, weather, things like that. Okay, so that's kind of what we've done with Facebook in terms of publishers by DMA, first responders by state. And I want to just pop over now to Twitter and take a look at what we've done there with Twitter search and listen. So we've had a pretty good search capability in the dashboard for a long time now, but we've really made the user experience and the interface a little easier to use. So you can see right here, I've got a stream up that I'm doing sort of a free search on, a keyword search on Meta and layoffs. So obviously layoffs at Meta, pretty big news, maybe only upstaged by Elon Musk and Twitter, which I happen to have right here. And I can track what's going on in those, on those keywords and terms pretty easily. But what we've added new in this recent update is this ability to just quickly make a change here. So I could do Meta. Actually, I could just quickly change this to Twitter and layoffs, okay? And get updates, pretty quickly there like that. And I also can click this button and get advanced searches. And we've had this capability before, but again, we're bringing it into the interface in a way that just makes it a little bit easier to use and makes it so you can just make quick changes and do discovery and monitoring on a little bit more easily. We've updated the interface in a similar way. So when you open up and you want to launch a new Twitter search and listen stream, you get options. I was just showing you keyword search, but I can do a user search as well. Whoops. Let's do Taylor Swift, my favorite. And I can get a quick list of results. And we're going to continue developing this and trying to bring Twitter and Facebook together in terms of how they work and what the capabilities you're able to do. Obviously, they're completely separate platforms, so we have some natural limiters there, but we're doing our best to make them consistent in terms of how you use them within our dashboard. And lastly, just showing off the what's trending capabilities. We've had this capability before, but again, we folded it into the interface like the others. And we will soon be adding a capability for you to be able to toggle regions. So when you're doing a what's trending search, you will be able to not only see what's trending in your current region, but also toggle between regions and see what's going on in different areas. So that's coming soon. And I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you. I know Sarah's got some cool stuff that she'd like to do, and so I'll turn it over to her. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Aaron. I'm gonna get the keys to the webinar here.
And while she's doing that, I've gotten the same question a whole bunch of times, which is if there's pages that you deem to be sort of missing from the predetermined list, there could be a whole bunch of reasons for that, so I can't even begin to guess. However, if you send us a list, support@socialnewsdesk.com, and indicate the pages that you want to see that aren't wherever you think they should be, we'll see what we can do. There are a whole bunch of limitations to what we're allowed to put in those lists for a number of reasons, but you can definitely send it to us and we'll take a look. Support@socialnewsdesk.com.
All right, I look forward to your emails. All right, well, thank you guys. I'm going to show you guys a little bit what's new with in Search and Listen for your groups. So this is something that you may have been familiar with as part of the Add to Dashboard workflow. We were calling it top content feeds for a while, but now this is going to be housed under group lists in Search and Listen, and that is for both Facebook and Twitter. So you'll see that down at the bottom for each one. It's the same list, but we do have a couple of additional capabilities in there. And from there, you can also take content and then syndicate it across a wider group of accounts, which is really, really cool. One thing also that I'll mention that I really like is the fact that you now need to click twice to remove a column. So it makes it a little harder to close those columns automatically. So just kind of a little usability thing that I personally really enjoy. So thank you guys, Aaron and your team for that. So I have a few open here. Let me actually pop this back open. So when you open your group lists, since this is a Facebook search and listen stream, I'm going to see all of the Facebook lists. So my Twitter list will be housed under the Twitter part of this. So you can see right now I have 3 lists. I have one that's my default, which is everybody in my whole group. I have one that is all of the social media accounts for the station here in San Antonio. And then I also have one for all of my stations across the whole group. So if I wanted to open up my default list with everybody, this is going to have all of the pages, not just the main brand accounts, but also any talent accounts will also be in here. So you'll see as I scroll down, some of those start to filter in. Right now, I have this set to anything that is getting double the average amount of engagement for that page or better over the past 24 hours. But if I wanted to, I could actually make this, 2 times the amount of click-through. Since all of these pages are onboarded into Social News Desk, we actually can pull that click-through data, and then you can see what's actually driving the most traffic, which is really nice. You can set that threshold a little bit higher. So if you wanted to say it has to be, 10 times or better than the average, you can set that there either for click-through or for engagement. And keep in mind, this is just going to be the average for that page. So for your smaller audience pages, obviously the thresholds will be a little bit different, but the multiplier is going to be the same. So that's kind of what we're working with there. You can also change your maximum content age. Right now for this one, I have it set to 24 hours, but maybe I want to go back a few more days. If I want to go back 4 days and see anything that's getting 10 times the average amount of engagement or better, we can kind of see what all of that looks like. And then if I see a piece of content that I then want to maybe share across to some of my other pages, I can just hit the create post button. And what that's going to do is bring it up in a post composer. So you'll see that it's going to bring over the link, it's going to bring over that post text. And then from there, I can just select any of my accounts that I want to add that to. You can see I'm ready for Christmas already. And then if you have white label links added to your dashboard, you can just click the button and then hit preview to see if that link is valid on the page that you're going to syndicate that to. So this is really helpful if you are in a large group and you want to take a piece of content that's doing well in one of your newsrooms and then disseminate it out to all of the other newsrooms across the whole company, across a state or region, but then make sure that the traffic for each website is coming from each page. So it still has that very local look and feel, and make sure that everyone's getting credit for their own traffic. So that's a really great way to use this. Of course, with Twitter, you can also do something similar. You can use create post from the Twitter search and listen streams for your group lists to repost that content, or of course you can come in and just hit retweet and then select any of the pages that you want to retweet that content from. So very easy to share that content out across the board. Once again, you can set these thresholds however you like. You can have multiple columns for the same list and just set different thresholds if you don't want to continually come in and change that up. But it's a really nice way to just keep tabs on what's coming up on all of your different pages. Kind of along the same lines for your for the other stations and other talent in your market, we have added a feature to SND reports that now is going to allow you to see top content. So you may be familiar with the stats roll-up report. If you're not, shoot us an email at support. We'll get you guys set up. It's very easy to set that report up. It's just going to be a new report and then stats roll-up. For this one, I have a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram account for one of my stations here in San Antonio. And you'll see here an option for include market scorecards. And so that is going to be the option when you have it checked, it's going to generate a market scorecard that will appear at the bottom of your roll-up report. So we'll scroll all the way down past the top content for this particular, the social accounts that are associated with this report. But down at the bottom, we're going to see that market scorecard. So we have our leaderboard, which will have, again, the same data that we are pulling in our search and listen across that whole market, but this is going to be page level data, so you can see how well some of the different pages in that market are performing. We also have our talent leaderboard, so this is going to show you all of the talent that we are taking a look at in the market and showing me how well each of those talent accounts is doing, how often they're posting, how much average engagement they're getting, that kind of thing. And then the recent addition here is going to be top posts. So you will see over the time period of this report, in this case, this is for the past week, the top posts by total engagement. And we're not going to take, every single post and rank them, but some of the ones that are, really kind of overperforming or outkicking their coverage here. So you can see how much simple engagement each of these posts are getting. And you can also click on the timestamp and it'll take you out to that post on that Facebook page. We won't necessarily wait for Facebook to load because sometimes it takes a while. But this is a great way to just kind of get a quick glance at any time of what's doing well in your market, the kind of posts that people are responding to. So it's a really great way to kind of keep tabs on that. If you want to do that just on a day-to-day ongoing basis, that's where you would use that search and listen tool. You can once again use the publishers by DMA, or you can use page search to build a custom list of accounts that you want to keep tabs on. All right, and that is it for me. I'm going to kick it back over to Kim.
All right, thank you very much. Super cool stuff. And what we're going to do, oops, hang on a second. What we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through a few more features after this. A couple of questions that have come in about a recording. So yes, we will definitely have a recording, and you will receive that via an email about an hour after the webinar concludes. So if there's someone on your team who couldn't make it, you'll get a link with a recording. So keep an eye out for that. Don't worry, you don't have to frantically be taking notes. And of course, you can always send an email, support@socialnewsdesk.com. And if there was something you missed or didn't quite understand, those folks will definitely help you, Sarah, and the rest of that team. Okay, so I'm going to now switch gears just a little bit to vertical video. So the changes within CrowdTangle and some of the data sources that are sort of moving parts within social media land right now is just one of a whole bunch of changes that have been happening recently. Vertical video, of course, is one of the places where we've seen a huge amount of growth. So that's something that Social News Desk as a team, we've put a lot of energy behind trying to figure out how can we help you succeed in this space. We know that it's highly trending. We know that it's a place where you can get a lot of eyeballs, and we know that you guys have really great content. So there seems like a huge opportunity there, but we also recognize it's for many newsrooms a little outside the norm in terms of workflow. So we've put a lot of thought into how it is that we can streamline some of this for you. So first of all, of course, you can publish vertical video. You can publish to Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels through your SND dashboard. But what you can also do is create vertical videos inside the SND dashboard. So this new feature is called the Vertical Video Studio. If you have not tried it, I implore you to try it because it is so, so cool. Essentially, you can take stories that exist and you can create videos. So Sarah is going to walk you through kind of how it works, just so you can get a little bit more of an under the hood type of demo. But suffice to say, this can be sort of like a highlight type of video where you showcase a whole bunch of different stories, or you can actually build one from scratch, almost like a moving slideshow type of video where you maintain one topic for the duration of the video. But they're super easy and they turn out really great, and it's a nice way for you to create more video during a time when we know that these videos are doing really great. So I'm going to actually kick this back over to Sarah so that she can give you a demo of how this works.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed my holiday cup video.
There we go.
All right. All right, so in my Reels tab here on my dashboard, I have a couple of columns already open for Instagram and for Facebook. These are just some of the accounts that are assigned to me. And with any account that you have open on your dashboard, you'll see now at the top there is a button for Vertical Video Studio. So if you want to do a really quick recap of the 5 most recent stories, or any of the 5 most recent stories that are on your timeline, you can hit that button, and this is going to automatically load in the headline and the photo from some of those, so you can see very quickly some of that content coming in. You can also load this from the left side of your dashboard. So by default, if you have this closed down, you will open that up from there. I already have one that's loaded in here, but from scratch, you will see that you have a few different options to get started. So you can start from a URL. You can upload some media directly, either a photo or a video. You can start by building some text, if you maybe even want to just build a straight up text story, or you can start from a template that you've already created. So I'm going to go ahead and actually start this from a URL. We're going to pop in this story here about creating thermometers from Topo Chico bottles. This is what we do in San Antonio, so we know how hot it is, or how much we need to complain about the cold weather. So it's going to load in the title from the website, and it's going to include the emojis, and I'm going to leave those in because they look really great. And then from here, we can continue to customize our content. So I can change the text color if I want to change it out. We'll just leave that as is. We can also change the fill color. So if I wanted to make this a little more colorful, we can add that red background, or we can even make it more opaque or more transparent. We'll just leave that nice and solid there. We can pull in literally any Google font in the world that exists. So you'll see here down at the bottom, more options. This is going to give you a list of all of the available Google fonts. So if there's a font that you use, you can search for it in here if it is a Google font. If you have a different brand font, I kind of am a font hobbyist, so if you're curious, I'm happy to kind of try to find a lookalike for you if you can't find one yourself. So just shoot us an email at support, and I'll go into font finding mode. But once you find one you like, if you want to add it to your selected fonts, and then you can save that. and then that font will be available in your list. So I can change that out to, you know, kind of a more sciencey, futuristic looking one, or maybe one that's just really easy to read. That's probably a little bit smarter. Then with font size, we have this set to small by default. If you wanted to, you know, make it a little bit bigger, you can play around with kind of what those font sizes look like. I kind of like the medium. It takes up a good amount of space, but not too much. You can also control the shape of the box, so you can kind of round it out a little bit more if you want. And then you can also add a typewriter effect. So if you do that, it's going to type the text on the screen, gives it a little bit more motion, nice and eye-catching, especially when people are scrolling through those reels. So from there, if we wanted to add some additional panels, I can hit the little plus sign here on the left, and that's going to add another slide. So this time I'm going to hit upload media, and I'm just going to grab one of the screenshots I took earlier today. And so this will be what we need to create our Topo Chico thermometers. There we go. I can zoom in on the picture if I just want to, you know, maybe give it a little bit more of an overview. And then if I want to add a manual text overlay, I can hit text box and just say, you know, here's what you'll need to get started. And then we can continue to add additional slides. We'll upload another picture here. And this will just be our meteorologist with the finished product. There we go. All right. That looks great. It looks almost good enough to drink, but maybe we probably shouldn't because I'm pretty sure it's rubbing alcohol in there. All right, so we'll go ahead and add another text box and we'll say, you know, check out the full instructions on our website. The link is in our bio. All right, so we can, let's move this, you know, maybe back a little bit. Sorry, my magic mouse is a little too magical. And then once again, I'm going to add that typewriter text effect just to make sure that text is kind of doing its thing. If I want to make sure that my my panel or my slide that I'm creating is safe for reels, we can turn on that safe area indicator. This is going to show anything that's going to be you know, potentially cut off, because obviously there are a lot of different shapes and sizes of screens on different people's phones. There's also captions and buttons and things like that. So anything that I want to make sure is not covered up, I'll click on that safe area just to double check it. And then if there's anything that I want to save as a template, we can just hit save as template. If you're familiar with Quick Post, this kind of works in a similar way. You can save that template for yourself and then bring it up, and that's going to save your font choices, any text overlays, image overlays, that kind of thing. So you can see I have a template here for an end tag. So if I wanted to kind of, you know, keep that sort of brand specific the whole time, we can create that and then add that at the end. So once I have all my panels put together, if I just want to kind of check in with how it's looking as I go through, I can hit the preview button, and the preview is pretty much instantaneous. So this is going to give you a really quick way to see how your slideshow is looking, see where you might want to change some photos around or anything like that. And it's just going to give it a nice subtle animation just to give it some movement. So when you are putting that out on social, it's going to be eye-catching and not just static images. We can also add music, so we do have some free music tracks in here if you want to add those, or if you have brand music that you want to use, you can use the Add Custom Media tool and upload that, or if you wanted to add a voiceover, you can do that from here. I'm going to go ahead and just reduce the number of slides I have here, not because I don't like them, but I want to go ahead and generate this video, and I don't want you guys to have to wait all day. So we'll hit the generate video button down at the bottom. Since it is rendering video, sometimes it does take a few seconds. Once that video is generated, you'll see I have two options. So I can either download that to my computer and then upload it to any other place that I would like, or I can just create a post right in Social News Desk from that. So once this is done processing, and there it goes, it's kind of giving it a try, you can hit create post, and it's going to drop that right into the post composer. From there, I can upload it to Facebook Reels, I can upload it to Instagram Reels, we can add this to Twitter, even though Twitter doesn't currently have any kind of short form video, you know, vertical video option. Obviously, you can put vertical videos on Twitter, and that's still going to, you know, take up a lot of screen real estate, which is always great. We want to make sure we're kind of getting all of our content in front of people's eyeballs. When you download that content, you can then upload it to Stories if you want. Stories right now doesn't have any kind of API for us to tap into, so we can't do that directly, but you can still download it and have the same content on your stories. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to grab a Facebook page. We'll also grab an Instagram account. There we go. And then we can add our post text. So check out our latest science project. Here's a great activity for Thanksgiving break. All right, I'm gonna make sure my post text is over on Instagram as well. So this is gonna be ready to go as a reel on Instagram. Basically anything that is a vertical video between 5 and 90 seconds on Instagram will appear in that Reels tab. For Facebook, you will need to check the publish as a reel. That is a little bit of a separate option, but it will go to both your timeline and to your Facebook Reels section on your Facebook page. With Facebook, of course, you can also add a title. So we'll just call this Science with Sarah. And then if we have a captions file, we can upload that manually as well. With Instagram, if I want to make sure that this goes to my news and bio page, I'm going to grab that URL once again and attach it. And so then when I upload this to my Instagram page, it's also going to drop this link on my news and bio page, so then people can get directly to that story from Instagram, which is going to make it really easy to drive a little bit more traffic to that story from another platform. And then from here, just like with anything else, we can hit post now, or we can schedule this for later. So let's say we want to schedule this for 12:45 p.m. here in Central Time. We'll hit schedule post, and we'll see that that is now going to be in line to go out. So a great way to schedule your reels in advance. One thing that Facebook has really been stressing is that consistency really matters with reels. So you want to make sure that you are publishing on a regular cadence. More is not always better, but regularity and consistency from week to week is really crucial. So that is kind of the main idea on reels. Kim, is there anything else you'd like me to show you guys before I kick it back?
No, I think that is great. I mean, this capability is one that, hats off to the development team, Aaron, and the rest of the folks who built such a cool tool, one of the coolest interactive capabilities inside SND Dashboard, and it just kind of opens up a whole new world in terms of content creation. So I really hope that you guys get in there and use it, be creative, create more vertical video, publish it routinely, like Sarah said. So we definitely want some feedback on it. So get in there and give it a try and let us know what you think. But thank you very much for that, Sarah. And I'm going to walk you guys through a few more things. So obviously, the search and listen is on everybody's mind. The vertical video is on everybody's mind. And probably, if you're like most newsrooms in the world, you've started to see a bit of a decline in terms of organic traffic from the feed on Facebook. So you are not alone in that. But what we are stressing to all of our newsrooms and any content creator really is that diversification of where you're distributing content is something that's more critical now than ever. We've been beating that drum for quite some time, but listen, now's the moment. You got to try some other stuff. You got to look for other places to distribute your content. And you're going to continue to get that traffic from Facebook and from Twitter. But there are other social networks out there that can provide you a pretty good opportunity to get traffic back to the site. LinkedIn is one where we're seeing newsrooms have success, and we recently launched support for LinkedIn publishing within SND Dashboard. You attach your newsroom's LinkedIn account to the SND Dashboard, and then you can publish your stories right out to LinkedIn just like you would any other network. It's really simple because of the fact that the layout of a LinkedIn post is very similar to a Facebook post. So you can get your content together and just basically hit an extra button inside SND, and we'll send it out to LinkedIn for you as well. So spend some time looking into that. Make sure that your LinkedIn account is attached to SND and start sending stories to LinkedIn. And now maybe every single story you write isn't appropriate for the LinkedIn audience, but many of them will be. So use a little bit of editorial judgment there, but look for stories that are going to resonate with sort of a professional audience within your community, which is a very large group of people, and send some stories out there. Try LinkedIn, see how much traffic you can get from it, and we can help you measure that as well. Additionally, we can help you automate it. So SND's planner capabilities and our automated publishing capability, which we call SND Autopilot, hey, that works for LinkedIn too. So guess what? You can line up some feeds straight out of your website, and we can automatically publish content to LinkedIn for you. You can create a schedule using autopilot. You can tell us what types of content you want to go there. So if you have a business section or some sort of section within your website that makes sense, we can pull stories just from that, and we can automatically publish them for you. So utilize that feature, start distributing content on LinkedIn. Additionally, Messenger. So those of you who have pages in the news page index on Facebook have access to create a Messenger experience for your audience. So what that means is that anyone within your community can subscribe to receive content from you through Messenger. So they will get a little message in their inbox each day with some stories that are relevant to whatever topic they subscribed to. You can either automatically set up what comes through into that message. We can use an RSS feed or something to set it up automatically, or you can go in each day and say what stories you want to go in there. But either way, the nice thing about this is that it's just a different way to reach your Facebook audience. Some people just want to spend time there, and depending on what's happening with feed, they may or may not see the links that you're posting to Facebook. But if they've subscribed to your Messenger, they're going to get every single link that you send out, because it's going to go straight to their inbox. And we can measure it for you, so you actually will see how many clicks you're getting through this distribution channel. So you'll see number of clicks that have come through Messenger in your reporting. So give it a try. If you need help setting it up, of course, that support team is ready to help you. support@socialnewsdesk.com. And Sarah mentioned this on Instagram. So yes, you can get traffic from Instagram. You've got to be diligent about putting your links into your news and bio. So we earlier this year launched the news and bio capability for all SND Dashboard clients. So what that means is we automatically have for you a page with all of your Instagram posts and the corresponding links. Anytime you publish a post to Instagram, we will update that page with the link that you tell us belongs to that post, and we'll make sure that it's on your profile link, which we call, again, news and bio. So this is really cool. It saves a step when you're publishing to Instagram. You don't then have to go to some other place and upload your link. You can make your page look really customized. You can put a couple of extra links at the top. And again, we can just make sure that we're getting that traffic from you, and we can measure that too. So if you go into Post Manager in SND Dashboard, there's a column in there now. If you haven't seen it, it's new. It says news and bio clicks. So that's going to tell you exactly how many people are going to that page because they saw an Instagram post that you made and they wanted to read the story, and they went to your news and bio page and they clicked on it. So this is going to measure that for you, so you can really tell, like, are we getting something out of this effort? And again, it's going to happen a lot more often if you're consistent about putting those links on that page, which we can make simple for you. So that's distribution. And then the next thing that I want to kind of address is first-party data. So this is a huge buzzword, a major theme within content producers, trying to get first-party data, trying to make sure that you know who your audience is and that you have control of being able to message them directly, collecting email addresses, collecting an understanding of who that audience is. And social media is probably the #1 way that newsrooms are going about collecting that first-party data at scale. It's extremely effective and something that we've been able to help a whole bunch of our journalists and newsrooms with. So we call this particular part of the company SND Promotions. So this is a team of people who are ads experts. They're social media paid experts. And so what that means is that they understand how to build ads and to get the desired outcome that you're looking for. So our team at Social News Desk built out an entire ad tech platform around how can we build the best ad in real time for our newsrooms. So if you have a marketing budget and you're saying, I want to use the content that I have, I want to place an ad on social media, and I want to get some email addresses, I want to get some first party data, or I want to get traffic to my website, whatever the goal is with your marketing budget that you're spending on social, we can help you spend it better because of this technology that we've built. So the whole thing is leveraged on what we call dynamic news ads. So this is an algorithm essentially that looks across all of the content that you've produced and identifies the best content that there is in real time dynamically. So as that content changes and things come and go, we're going to constantly be modifying the list, and we're going to look at a bunch of different signals. How old are the stories that we have access to? What kind of keywords exist in those stories? Signals like how is that content performing organically for you on social media? How is it doing on your website? We can understand signals like this to, again, look across everything you have and kind of make a best of list. Like, here's the best stories that you have. Then we're going to automatically turn those into ads for you. So instead of something like boosting a post where you might say, here's one story, I'm going to put a couple $100 behind it. Instead of that, what this technology will do is identify through data, through science, what stories are going to perform best for you. We'll automatically pull those in, automatically create ads out of them, and we're going to switch up those stories in real time all the time. So it's not like a all eggs in one basket type situation. Our team, who we call our superhuman optimization team, they leverage a bunch of tools that we have in-house to build the ads, optimize the ads, make sure they're running and getting you the best cost per result. And then there's an interface where you can keep track of things. So if you're curious, you want to know, geez, what stories are really going into these ads, we can show that to you. And you can modify them too if there's something you don't like or you want to add something to it. It's full transparency so you can see what's going on. So here's an idea of how this looks if you can't quite picture it. So I'm sure you've seen these ads on Facebook. Basically, you see a news story. If you click it, a form comes up and says, hey, would you like to subscribe to our newsletter? Would you like to give me your email address? You say yes, and then it takes you in to read the story. So it's almost like a gating of the story where the gate is that collection of first-party data. So these are ads, obviously. These newsrooms who are placing these ads are paying Facebook for that distribution. But in this particular workflow, the payoff for many of these ads is to collect those email addresses. We can also do this to collect phone numbers if you want to do a larger SMS campaign. We can do this to do newsletter signups, SMS signups, conversions for subscribers. So if newspapers, if you're looking for someone to actually sign up and pay money and subscribe to your digital edition, we can do that through this, as well as website traffic. So if you just want to do campaigns where you want, hey, more people to go see whatever it is that you've produced, these ads are very effective for that as well. And many of our television stations do these for tune-in. So they'll kind of create an ad that runs right around the time of a particular show or a sweeps piece, and we'll make sure that we're getting as many eyeballs on that particular piece of content as possible. So we're going to distribute these across a whole bunch of different networks, Facebook, Instagram, we can do Twitter as well. And again, we're going to basically bring to the table a way that this becomes a lot easier for you and a lot more effective. So we'll know what stories are going to perform. The moment a story doesn't perform, it's out of the list and a new one comes in. So that sort of constant rotation of your content is going to make for a much better ad and a much more efficient expenditure of your dollars, of your marketing budget. Here's a couple of case studies. So we actually do this now. We've only had this particular tech in place for under 2 years, but we already do this for thousands of newsrooms around the world. Our newspaper clients are many hundreds of newsrooms. Philly Inquirer is one we did this case study on. They got email newsletter signups at about 75 cents each, which for context, industry average is $2 or more. So this is a heck of a deal for them to be able to do that. And the reason that works is because of the tech that I described. We do this for USA Today as well. Here's a case study we did with them where we got signups for about $1 a piece, again, well under that industry average. And the way that this works is, USA Today, they have tons of stories that they could theoretically turn into an ad, but we work with them to understand what the best story is at any given moment and turn that into an ad. For the television stations that we do this with, a lot of these are video. So we can definitely do this with video where you say, here's a video and it promote either a particular new show that you have or talent or a sweeps piece. And ultimately we're going after getting people to view the brand, understand what it is that you have to offer, and then hopefully tune in to actually watch that broadcast. So that was a lot. I know that there's a lot of questions inside the queue for the webinar. We're going to go through all of those and make sure that you get answers. I'm not going to do it live just because honestly, I know that this has been a long webinar and I want to return you guys back to what you're doing, but we will make sure that all of your questions get answered. We'll reach out to you directly. In addition, there is a product tour. So all the stuff that Sarah and Aaron went over is all live inside the dashboard. If you haven't logged in recently, when you do, you will get this little prompt that walks you through a tour of the new features. So that'll be super helpful. There's also within our knowledge base, the little icon at the bottom left of your screen, you can click, there's articles and additional information in there. And of course, anytime that you need questions answered, please do not hesitate to reach out to us directly, support@socialnewsdesk.com. On our website also, there's a multitude of blog posts and articles, case studies about the ads that I mentioned. There are how-to articles about how to use our automation, how to set up Messenger, how to set up these new search and listen type features, how to use the vertical video studio. It's all in there. So go click the blog, socialnewsdesk.com. Right up at the top, you'll see a link for the blog, and it's tons and tons of stuff in there, plus the knowledge base. And if all of that fails, just send us an email and we'll make sure to get back to you. Thank you guys so much for your time. I hope you know we've been working really hard on this. We really want to make sure that we're here to support you during this very busy season of change within social media. We get it. We know you guys are working hard, and we appreciate working with you. We appreciate your partnership so much. So send us feedback. Let us know what you love. Let us know what needs change. We're definitely open ears always. So thank you all very much, and have a great week. Bye.